Hi guys, welcome to Trip Around the Multiverse with your hosts CY Chong and
Kyle Charles.
Carl made me watch some very terrible film.
Let's be honest, some of the greatest things ever recorded onto any sort of media device,
Burned into my brain with such amazingness that I can't.
You can't get away from them.
Oh, you know what it is? It's so bad that it went all the way around to good and then bad again. That's what it was. It stuck with me so much that I have to say, when I say very, very bad, I mean like very, very good into very, very bad. It's like the Superman going around the world turning it backwards.
Yeah.
That's how bad good it was.
It's
Though tragically they are genuinely bad. Yeah. So Carl like suggested we watch some video game movies, which were King of the Fighters.
Yep.
What year was that?
I want to say 2012. I think I wrote it down. I think it's 2012.
So King of the Fighters 2012, Street Fighter Legend of Chun-Li, which
2008.
2008? I thought it was 9.
Nah, 2008.
Okay. Tekken 2010.
10.
No, I thought that was 2009.
That's 2010.
Okay, I might be just looking at when it was
Yeah.
recorded rather than released. Maybe that's when I'm thinking. Not recorded, but actually. And Mortal Kombat Annihilation, but we were watching that anyways.
Yeah, that's still fresh in everyone's memories.
1997. So here it is. What we're gonna do is just attempt to shill it. At least say all the good stuff, alright?
Because it could be easy to just go on a podcast and just like say all the terrible things on them. But we're gonna try and pick out the positives and try and like Chewy said, shill the film, make people want to go and see them. But then obviously we're gonna try and go as long as we can.
Without slating
them.
Until we get to the point where we run out of stuff and then unleash the tirade of what reality.
God.
What order do you want to start with? The order of what you think was the worst of these, and then we go on to the best of these.
Unless you want to do it in release order, so we can start with Mortal Kombat because that was the earliest.
Okay. So Mortal Kombat Annihilation. This film right here is about a god giving up his own mortality to help the humans rise up to his level. And when Liu Kang learns the animality, shocking Shao Kahn, because he thought he could transform as well. It just reminded me exactly of when Vegeta in Dragon Ball Resurrection F was facing down Frieza, and Frieza's like, "You puny mortal, what can you do to Golden Frieza?" Vegeta just swaggers up to him, says, "I too have the power of God," and he transforms Super Saiyan Blue. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Shao Kahn craps himself when Liu Kang turns into a massive dragon. That's what it is how mortals can have the power of a god too. If it was called Mortal Kombat Ascension, that's what.
Yeah. Like, you can even say, if you really want to like reach as much as you want to reach, you can say this film, that scene alone, inspired Dragon Ball Super Resurrection of F. Because, like you said, it's, a mere mortal man stepping up to, Frieza, which is technically, he's a space god who actually knows.
Space Conqueror, which is Shao Kahn.
Exactly.
Conqueror.
Yeah, because Shao Kahn is not really a god. Well, in that continuity anyway, whatever.
In the Mortal Kombat, because Raiden's the god in the movie, in Annihilation, and Shao Kahn is Raiden's brother, Shao Kahn must also be a god, by logic.
But then, I'll put, no, what I was about to say would be a bad thing, so we'll go back to the plot hole that I just realised. And the film...
The
source material... Loosely? I'm using that word in capital letters. Follows...
Massive high pitch as well when you said that.
Loosely follows the source material? So,
I think it's unfair to judge things based on how well they adapted the source material. You've got to look at it like this film exists separately from the source material, because they can't modify everything.
Yeah.
But taken alone as a story by itself, that's
because
adapting the costumes is one thing.
Yeah, the costume adaptations were pretty good. I'll say that.
The ninjas, like with their, so it wasn't just cloth; they had the dimension to.
Yeah, it was kind of like
the rhombus, whatever shape they had, the diamond type. Coloured on their ninja costumes.
some of the characters stayed true to their characters from the game, even though the game you don't really get much characterization of the characters at that point because it was.
Shiva's arms look pretty good.
Yeah.
CG. Montaro.
Montaro, yeah.
Yeah, he had a pretty good CG body as well.
Yeah.
So
it didn't look like something out of 1997, unlike
some of the other effects.
other effects, you know. The practical effects
pretty solid
pretty
though.
good.
They never thought that he had a CGI.
Lower look torso.
Yeah, but it could have been like practical as well.
Yeah.
So it didn't look out of place with what they.
Even the fight scenes were pretty good. I'd probably say the best one was the Sub-Zero versus Scorpion right at the beginning because.
But you know what?
Because stuff.
Well, yeah,
and real
but to be fair, they were stuntmen in masks,
yeah,
so they could do whatever they want.
They have to do the quick cuts.
You never like if they hire the right stuntman for the job, because you're never gonna know when they swap out another stuntman with their mask. That's all right. What they did do as well, instead of spamming the theme song, they built up to the end where Liu Kang's gonna face off Shao Kahn, and then they bust out the music.
Yeah.
It's like they'll face each other in
Mortal
Kombat. See, build. That's what you need.
Yeah,
it timed perfectly. It was like we just hold up and build anticipation. It's like yes now.
Yeah, and a lot of the I'll say set pieces and like this places they filmed look pretty nice in it. So I'll give it that.
I will say as well that it did the smart move as well without. So it didn't try to spam fights all the time. The way they took down Shiva was more of a ingenuity sort of trap.
Yeah, outsmarted
her.
her.
Exactly.
Wait, who fought her again?
No, Liu Kang fought the Baracas, and then he took Katana out of the cage, and he jumped on the thing underneath, and then it fell on her.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, see, outsmarted.
So it's all about
the brain.
The mind and the body.
It shows that you don't have to be the biggest dog in the fight to win.
Yes.
Morals right there.
Yeah. And how Sonya Blade also took down Sector with the Kiss of Death.
Yeah,
which was whatever spontaneous combustible powder that she blew.
Yeah, we'll say chemical X at this point, yeah.
Yeah, and she blew on him while he was that on fire or something like that? Something was malfunctioning.
Something was malfunctioning, I don't remember.
And then he blew up and I was like, oh, that's a perfect way to work in the fatality, that makes sense.
Yeah, it was, they made, like you said, an outlandish fatality in the game, they made it realistic. Even though they didn't need to, because the film's really unrealistic as it is. But, they tried. I
tell you what, you didn't know, well, I didn't notice, but you probably wouldn't have noticed either, but the whole film's supposed to take place over 6 days, because Shao Kahn hams it up and says, the world was made in 6 days, and I will...
End it in 7.
And it will be glorious! And then Bobby Roode's theme song kicks in. No. So, 6 days, none of these people ate, washed, or go to the toilet, or anything like that, and they never ran out of stamina. See, at that point, that's when the world's emerging, it altered their physiology to some degree, space-time continuum adjustments. I was like, oh,
it's true.
These people fought these things, and not only that, it was like a gradual ascension to godhood, but they didn't realize it either. So it was a journey that started when they were mortals.
So they became gods.
Exactly, and they didn't realize it either because the days went by, but they didn't realize they weren't eating or getting fatigued.
And also, you got to think about this as well. They're living in God mode now because, I'm pretty sure, gods don't have a concept of time. Because they're alive for millions of years and stuff, and it just seems like yesterday to them,
Yes.
That's why those 6 days went in like an hour and a half.
yes. No, that Shao Kahn. See, he had his 4 minions, which were Montaro, Sindel, Shiva, and Ermac.
Yeah.
And then he has these other lower tier minions like Jade and Rain.
Yeah.
Now he can't. If you can threaten. Because they're all like, oh yeah, we're going to stab him in the back and all that stuff. Just your standard evil minions, right? Yeah. And Shao Kahn has to be the standard evil emperor. So he has to instill fear in them. But he can't kill them because he finds them useful. So he sacrifices his lower tier minions to do that. Puts Rain into a fire, gets Jade her head bit off, just to instill fear in the guys that don't stab him in the back. I was like, oh, excellent move, Shao Kahn. Proper good evil emperor move there.
Yeah, it's true, yeah.
The valuable people stay valuable. And then they have to watch their back just in case.
Yeah, be on edge,
If
we mess up, homeboy will kill us.
Exactly.
And it even ends on a uplifting note, which was pretty good, I say. I can't think of anything really else good to say.
We're running low on stuff.
Yeah,
We're running low.
Some of the special effects for the moves,
Yeah.
yeah, it looked decent. Did Scorpion use his Scorpion? He used these over here spike yeah, that looked better.
Well, but I don't think it actually connected with it.
No, I don't think he did. That's probably too much in budget.
But Sub-Zero had solid special effects with his ice
stuff
recreation.
Even the shadow effect for Johnny Cage's shadow kick, which was kind of pointless. That looked okay.
Well, actually, you say pointless, but also stands for what I said before about establishing Shao Kahn as a threat, because come in there, bam, take out a hero that survived the previous movie. Just to
show how serious he is.
Exactly. And knowing that, he made Raiden had all 4 of their minions, then lower tier generals.
Yeah.
He could have killed them all at once, but Shao Kahn knew
that Raiden wouldn't.
Yeah, because he threatened one of Raiden's men.
And if you go like another,
and he killed him anyway, just because he's evil.
And another thing, if you want to reach even more, that scene inspired the beginning of Infinity War. Yeah, he inspired all of Thanos. I know Thanos came back. He literally killed all like the Asgardians, all the big ones.
Yeah.
And then he kind of tricked Thor that, oh yeah, no, I'll let your brother go if something plot device.
Yeah.
And Loki's like, don't do it. And then he tried to stab what's his name, Thanos, and then reach. I'm saying I'm reaching. So yeah, Mortal Kombat inspired Infinity War. Yep, it doesn't. I'm just
trying, yeah. That's we're just shaking our heads, going, what else? What else?
Casting. Okay, yeah.
No. Some of Robin Shu was still good as Shao Kahn. The guy who replaced the guy who replaced Johnny Cage was a good replacement because he looked kind of the part-ish, and you wouldn't have known that he just swapped another guy out, unless you watch them back to back.
Yeah, like we did.
Yeah. Jax had metal arms. I don't know if that's at least he was the size of Jax, though.
Yeah.
That's the best we can say about that.
Yeah, all the other recasts, they were okay, I guess,
Yeah. They had a decent amount of stuntmen to help with the fight scenes, because you had the fight scenes with a bunch of ninjas that are faceless, and you could just swap out different stuntmen.
No one has.
Yeah, no one would have known as well that the capabilities of whoever is.
Yeah.
But that's about.
So yeah.
I cannot make this film sound any more better than what I've already tried.
Yeah. That's it, I guess. I can't be bothered to slag this film off either.
There's stuff that's wrong with this film.
Yeah.
More wrongs than right.
Right, yeah.
But we're just gonna have to leave it at that. We don't have to sleep like these films that we're trying to shill.
Yeah. Especially this one. Like this one, everyone's done it, so there's no real point of going in depth. Yeah.
Okay.
So moving on swiftly indeed. Would be the next film in the chronological timeline, which would be Street Fighter ... Legend of Chun-Li.
All right.
Which was released in 2008.
All right. I'm gonna say the evil genes for M. Bison were so dominant that even took his Irish accent across from his parents to him, even though he was given up for adoption as a baby. That is a legacy of evil. That's continuation from soul to soul, which is why he had to get rid of his soul to Rose, who does not speak with an Irish accent. She because he put all the good out of her. So that means evil people are Irish. Question mark?
I totally forgot that he's meant to be Irish. I didn't even. Did he have an Irish accent?
Yeah, he did.
Oh wow, I just didn't care.
Yeah, because he had blonde hair as well. He was basically he was Geese Howard.
Yeah, or tried to be Geese Howard.
Yeah, in a Street Fighter movie. We could argue that Geese Howard is probably the better character, and therefore this is why that guy took the template of Geese Howard. We don't know if Geese Howard is Irish or not.
Nah, he's American, about half German.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know where he got his ideas from.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm gonna say it takes skill to fight in a business suit.
Yeah. No.
Right? It takes that. And I could also say, okay, this is how it goes. So you're taking a girl who learned casually martial arts, right? It's really a concept pianist. You train her, and she becomes better than the best because Vega is the guy who's going to clean up people's messes. And she took him down like a punk.
Yeah.
She took him down so quick. There was punks that she had to deal with previous in the movie before her training again. And then after that, after she could barely defeat them, later on trains again, and then just bitch slaps Vega. I was going to say Vegeta. Bitch slaps Vega. That just shows you how dedicated training and how good that Gen can train people. Yeah. Knowing that later on, she destroys M. Bison, even though Gen can't. So she's rising above the abilities of her teacher.
Hence why it's called Legend of Chun-Li, because she builds a legacy.
Not only that, but that was a fatality.
Yeah.
On M. Bison.
I actually like that.
It's like completely unnecessary, but it had to be done because how evil it was. Right in front of his door, just to show him who's boss. Sometimes you gotta just, you know what? She might have, because she knows all the good is in Rose. Yeah. That even if you kill, this is how you test the evil. Because if Rose tried to attack her, you know that Rose had some evil inside her. You kill someone's parent right in front of them, and they do nothing. They're all good, according to this movie.
I did one of the things. It was good about the film. Like her whole Chun-Li. Her whole sort of Batman Begins journey. Because when you think about it, this is what it says: Batman Begins. Yeah. She gives up her wealthy lifestyle to travel around Thailand to become Chun-Li. I was gonna say Batwoman, but yeah.
No. It's more like a legendary character to the poor and the decrepit. And, becomes the inspirational leader of their. I don't want to say gang because they're not a gang. Their
movement?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Their rebellion or whatever. So I like that. I liked some of the creative liberties they took with the characters' backgrounds and stuff. I
like how she when she was born she was Chinese, and then when she was in the teens she turned white, and then between that she turned into someone in the middle. Yeah. And because maybe genetics are fine against each other.
Yeah, I don't know. Because that made no sense to me either. Like she, like you said, white baby and Chinese teenager and that, and then because the lady who plays her, what's her name, Kristen
Crook.
Yeah, she's.
I think actually, genuinely, they as the person that was marketable at the time.
Yeah. That
looked about the right. She was fine. Yeah. In the role, could have. I don't want to say could have beefed up more, because toned up more to make her look like an athlete. But if her character's a schoolgirl pianist, she's got the frame of body for that.
Yeah, because it made no sense if she was really big.
Oh no, I didn't necessarily be big, but just toned.
I mean,
you wouldn't exercise,
Yeah.
I think they cast as well as they could have for whoever they thought were going to be a draw.
Yeah, it made sense. She was.
And again, Robin, she wasn't bad as again. I don't think. I was personally thinking, all right, at that time, you could have just got someone like Jackie Chan because he would have fit the role more.
I think he would have been too expensive.
Yeah.
But Robin Shou sort of made sense, even though they could have got someone I would say looked older.
Yeah, because that's why I say Jackie Chan. But like you say, price range.
Yeah, he cost more than the whole film cost.
I think Michael Clark Duncan was actually pretty good as Balrog. He had a whale of a time. He enjoyed his what he was doing. Yeah. And when he was throwing about people about, it didn't look silly because he said massively compared to everyone else. And I don't want to say he fought like a boxer because Balrog, it is a brute force fighter, and he didn't work. You wouldn't have known probably that Michael Clark Duncan's playing Balrog, who's a boxer,
Yeah.
but he was just throwing haymakers and bombs, so you could go that direction. He's just like, you're gonna have to put the boxing gloves on just so people know he's a boxer.
Yeah,
and that's
'cause-
just too obvious.
Yeah, and I just took out the film like.
Yeah, I
this
mean,
is
you
weird.
can make anyone a boxer by putting boxing gloves
Yeah.
on them.
Yeah, because like even if they
He was
did-
enjoying what he was doing.
he was
though.
enjoying it. Even if they said, even if they did a weird throwaway in like his boxer, that felt really weird. Like, wait, why did you have to bring that up?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Why bring that up? Like, it's one of the examples where you don't really need that much explanation behind the character.
Yeah, I did think that it was good that he fought again as well, because Chun-Li would have looked like, if he threw a punch at Chun-Li and she, even if she blocked it, it would have just sent her flying as well.
Yeah.
Just because of the sheer size difference.
Yeah. You can sort of buy her fighting Bison, but yeah, fighting him would be like, that's weird.
I will say this as well. So, the spinning bird kick, right?
Yeah.
They worked it in as best they could in a situation where the move is ridiculous to begin with.
Yeah.
So people surrounded Chun-Li with guns. She went and did the cartwheel spin thing and knocked the guns out of their hands. And yeah, I was like, okay, all right, I buy this in the situation it is. Because the move's ludicrous. I mean, she floats across the screen in the video game, so what can you say that? It's the best representation of how it can legitimately be pulled off. Whether you want to, whether it will succeed in knocking guns out of hands at people, that's a different matter.
Story, yeah.
But she's trained at this point with the game, and she can do fireballs later on. So I can believe she can whip her feet around so quickly to make a helicopter spin out and knock guns that are gripped in men's hands out of them.
Plus, like I say, this film, so much outlandish stuff happens, but I think that's one of the ones, if that did happen, be like, if she did like in the game, like, that's just took me out of this completely. Like, you can buy her doing fireballs and stuff. But that makes... So, like you said, I like how they incorporated it, and that's a pretty clever way of getting around that. There's a weird club scene.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's different and cool, I guess.
Yeah, it was a bit of a girl on girl. Not really, but she went in there to seduce Bison's minion, who's not even in the game.
Yeah.
Because
that moment, I thought that was Rose.
then,
like, they changed Rose's background, and I realised no, Rose is his daughter. But even because in the games that's his niece, but then there's some weird thing there.
Isn't it his niece?
You think it's his niece, and then later on you find out that it's some weird.
Okay.
Sort of like this.
Convoluted, yeah.
Yeah.
And you say, so explain the club scene to the people that have not seen it.
So Chun-Li needs to get information about one of Bison's bank accounts.
Yeah.
And she notices that this woman's always going to the bank and stuff for him, for the Bison. So they go to this CD club in Bangkok somewhere. I'm guessing it is Bangkok, yeah. And Chun-Li walks in and notices that this woman keeps looking at other women dancing. So Chun-Li's like, I can use my sex appeal to...
but the logic then falls apart. If this woman wasn't looking at other women, what is she doing?
Yeah, so it's like...
But
plot conveniency.
No. We won't allow that. No. Chun-Li scouted and knew.
Yeah.
You could just follow other people about doing other stuff at some point. Like the police were doing a stakeout and she was also staking out as well. So she would have planned a contingency if it wasn't the case.
Yeah, she would have got, what's his name? Nash.
Charlie Nash.
Yeah.
No, she didn't even call himself Charlie Nash. Just
Nash.
But continue the scene.
Yeah, so Chun-Li goes down. She's at the bar.
No, she don't go down. She
walks down from the stage
to the lady's bar. Yeah.
And gives her the eyes.
I think you set the expectation when
yeah,
Chun-Li goes down. Whoa! No, the expectations are too high for this movie.
Yeah, it doesn't rock the boat or anything. Oh. So she looks at her, gives her the eye. Then they start dancing to a very well choreographed dance scene, which could be put in a 12A film, which I'm guessing this is. And then there's some googly eyes go on. They go, "Hey, let's go to the bathroom." And then a weird fight scene happens.
Yeah.
Where she kicks her through a glass toilet door. Like, okay, what?
Yeah.
And then I can't remember what happens after that.
Anyway, no, what happens after that is I'm going to make it sound funnier than it was.
Yeah.
But the bathroom door is locked, closed or whatever, and these ladies are waiting outside for it because they want to go.
Yeah.
What it is right inside, and then the bodyguards are guarding the lady, walk across there, and they're hearing this grunting, right?
Oh yeah.
And then, but there's stuff breaking, and it would be a nice, funny scene if they were listening and they nodded to each other, because just jokes what's going on in there. But no, they immediately know what's going on when you hear glass shattering, and they're like to the ladies waiting outside, get off, get out of here. Then they bust in and Chun-Li beats them up, and then later on, about 2 minutes later, then a minute or two later, then you have the spinning bird kick.
Yeah, spinning bird kick thing, and
yeah.
So yeah, I like that. That bit was alright.
I will say Moon Good Blood. I don't even know her character name in this.
May.
Yeah. Not in the game whatsoever.
No.
Nash, not even acting like he was in the. But Chris Klein doesn't care.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
No, he doesn't care. But he plays like he. Not that he doesn't care about the film he's in, but he just the script that he's been given. He's like, I'm just going to execute exactly what you want me to do. And Moon Good Blood is actually trying to do stuff.
Yeah.
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 Like, but it's a very it's a very odd film.
It's an odd film.
Because if it went wacky over the top, you'd be like, this is entertaining. But here you're like they're trying to make it like Chun-Li Begins, also a cop drama on the side.
Yeah.
Which they weave in quite well.
Yeah, that bit is.
And it all ties together because then Bison's the core problem with everyone.
Another thing I'll say, which is I thought was, that's pretty cool. Then it kind of falls apart in the end, but then sort of brings itself back.
Yeah.
I liked how Bison's plan wasn't too elaborate and crazy. He's just trying to buy up the slums of Bangkok so he can build like fancy places and then charge people more rent. I was like, okay, that makes sort of sense.
I guess it's your standard evil businessman.
Yeah.
But you got to think about it like this. He's probably toned down from what he... I mean, why was he evil? Because he was.
No, they give him a reason why he's evil. Because of him being a white guy in Bangkok or whatever it was. He got bullied and stuff like that. And set on the street. That's why he... He had
and he steals a fisherman's fish and he just gives him an evil stare and the guy backs down. That's the evil.
No,
that's how bad it is.
He had a knife.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alright, okay, I must have... All I'm saying is, I was looking at a guy and Bison just staring down the fish farm or whatever his name.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
And the guy backed off because he saw the evil.
Because he grabs him by his throat, put the knife, and the wife's like, "No, give it to him." And then that's when he starts.
I must have turned my head
Don't
away for a split second.
Yeah, and like they sort of built a backstory with that, how he and Gen knew each other's kids, and Gen is like, "Yeah, I knew him. That's when he became this."
It's a redemption story for Gen because he was evil, and then he became good, and now he realized the error of his ways, training the web of whatever. Which are that group that Chun-Li is now the inspirational figure for.
Yeah.
Yes, it's all perfectly logical.
Yeah.
Dot.
Also, I liked how Chun-Li is she just has the curse. Whoever knows her dies. Her mom dies. Her dad sees her after like 20 years and just dies straight away.
Yeah, neck cracked, boom.
Gen basically dies, but then comes back. That's when he fake killed him twice.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
But that's because, like in the game, where he took a raging demon and didn't go to hell, he emptied his soul out of his body, and then he put it back once he realized the danger was over. That's something you'll probably teach Chun-Li at some point.
I hope
he taught her the fireball and all that stuff. So.
Oh God. Street Fighter. That's so stupid.
Vega's mask and claw were good props.
I liked his claw, but his mask was just kind of bland. It's like, in the game it's all like white and got paint and stuff on it. And that's just a metal-ish looking mask. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Which
Taboo from Black Eyed Peas was playing. Yeah. Which I have to say that character inspired Wolverine in X-Men Origins Wolverine. How they thought, hey, in the previous X-Men movies, his claws ain't that big. But in the next one, we're gonna make him as big as ever. Hence,
but then they made them CG, whereas these guys use practical claws, which looked better.
Look better.
I'm running out of things. I think at this point we start. I mean, trying to show all the good things about these films, but this particular film,
No, one of the things I give it as well, I thought, okay, they're going to try and go too way far from Bison's character, like he's just an evil businessman. But then they sort of, he started taking part in like black magic and the whole circle. Like, okay, that's pretty cool. They actually went there, you know. Dude just punched his pregnant wife in the belly to take out the baby.
No. Wait. Well, to be fair, it cut off at the bottom there, so you didn't see what it was. I thought he... Well, what did you think he done? I'll let you explain.
Punched the belly.
Punched. He pierced it with his fingers.
And then
tore it open. Yeah. Okay. That's also what I thought. But I didn't think he actually punched it.
No. I'm saying I'll make a joke. But
I think he basically put his claws in his fingers in there, ripped open the belly.
Yeah,
and
transferred a lot worse than what
he did the Chucky thing magic. He played hide the soul with the newborn babe.
Yeah.
Hey, look! All I'm gonna say is, character-wise, the man knew what needed to be done, so he could be the biggest, most corrupt leader in
Thailand.
Yeah.
And there was another weird thing. I thought it was quite funny because it's just weird. When there's a bit where you see him like punching a punch. You think he's punching a punch bag. And there's a woman. I'm like, what?
Is that woman that
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Like, oh, that's just really.
But that was actually okay. That was pretty well shot because you see how you have Balrog.
Yeah.
Just punching a punch bag, and then he moves on to Bison, who's in his waistcoat shirt, punching as well, and then he punched and there's blood splatter.
Yeah. And
then moves out a little bit more, and then you're like, oh, okay, so he's punching up the lady that gave information to Chun-Li that Chun-Li tried to seduce in the bathroom ish.
Yeah. Like, oh,
okay.
That's
okay. Fair enough.
That's weird. But yeah.
And Bison's superpower punches, just a standing straight punch, and people go flying.
Yeah. But he has got the power of darkness.
So the power of no soul, no goodness in his soul that gives him the magical ability to do
things that make sense. Yeah. Also, so she beats. Going to the end of the film. Yeah. Last fight.
The whole build was for her to do that fireball. So at least it went in that direction.
Yeah. Yeah, and she fatality him. And that was pretty cool. And
in front of his door, like I said, test of evil, right? Test of evil.
I thought it was gonna be I thought it was gonna go.
But she's so good and pure-hearted that she was like,
oh, okay.
Yeah. I can see why you did that.
I legit thought it was gonna be like things in the film we'll talk about later, where she had a chance to kill him, but she was like, you know what? I'm better than that. I don't need to kill you. You got to live with your failure. But no, she just straight up killed him.
No. Yeah, that's because. That's because. See, so when you have a tragedy that strikes, and it keeps in your mind for so long, like Batman, his parents died, and then he trained for 15 years or X amount of years on everything. And then he became the Batman because it stuck with him so long, and then he makes sure these tragedies never happened. Yeah. But you could go the opposite way. You could be like, this burns within you so much that you just when you unleash it, then it finally leaves you, and you're no longer walking around carrying all that anger. And she just had to unleash that. I don't know. She killed him for.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm about to say, she killed him for no reason, but she had a reason to kill him.
I can't even
justify. But yeah, so then, I also liked, they had a little sequel bait like, hey, I want to go to Japan. There's a guy called Ryu. I don't know. He's
he's a guy called Ryu something. The mispronunciation.
Yeah, I was like, but then I thought that's quite funny because everyone has a weird debate about how do you say that name. So if there was a sequel, they go, so how do you say your name? Oh, it's blah blah blah.
Yeah.
That's to our loyal fans who watched the first film. And to be fair, it's not as bad as I remember it. To be fair, it could have been better. So that's the good points.
Yeah. I mean, let's move on. I can't try to make this thing sound any more epic than.
But you know what? At these films we were talking about, this is probably the least one I have complaints about.
No, I like Tekken the best out of the
Oh no, I got so much because I've got so many things.
Right. What are you talking about next? Is it King of Fighters?
I think it's
Tekken. It is Tekken. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, go on. No, hold on. You can't shill it first.
Yeah, I'm gonna shill it first. I'm gonna shill it first.
This okay. I'll do it because you're struggling. Okay. This is an epic story of a young man rising above his station to be the champion of the people by fighting in a tournament that is all for the elites. And then he not only takes down the entire organization, but he becomes the new leader of inspiration for the people that are in the slums, and now the new face of the Tekken Corporation, because he took down the guys that were abusing their
power.
Yeah. The People's Champion, that's very cool, man.
God.
He's not The Rock, he's not DDP, he's Jingle Bama.
This is in 2038, so DDP and The Rock are long dead by this point.
Alright,
so he can be the People's Champ. Or I say one good thing. Well, I say a few things I think was good. I like how any film that starts with something going on, then it seems to X amount of days earlier. I'm like, okay, you're great already. I already know we're going to get to this point at the end of the film. You know, where you're showing. Heihachi's hair?
Yeah. No. Okay, so Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa actually is well cast as a Heihachi.
Yeah, he is.
The part of a guy who, I don't know how old Heihachi is supposed to be in the movie.
About 100 about point.
In the game at this point, if it was based on Tekken 3, he'd be 74 or something.
74, like, yeah.
He doesn't look that old. He doesn't look the age of 74, but he does look like a guy he looks like Heihachi. I'll put it that way.
He was like Heihachi if Heihachi just not gave up, but like just stopped training. Because in the games and stuff, Heihachi
but that because they okay, hold on, let's put it this way. They look like the builds they would realistically be if they were athletes, but not bodybuilders. Because in Tekken, they're bodybuilders, man. Them bodies are like, you can't move with bodies like that.
Like, it casts him as like as they've sort of done it as well. He's not really a fighter anymore, is he? He's just the head of a company. So I can get cool. He can look like that.
Okay.
Yeah, he's old. He's a grandpa.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't know he's a grandpa.
Yeah.
But some of the arena where they fight was pretty good.
Yeah.
Trying to really think.
Okay.
There's parkour scenes. That's cool.
I'll let you finish. I'll let you run out.
Yeah, the parkour.
I'll let you struggle first, and then I'll tag
cool.
On.
I like. They have lots of game characters in it. You know, they got Raven, Eddie, Dragonoff, the Williams sisters, Christy, Miguel. Even though Miguel isn't.
Wait, Montaro. How do you pronounce the surname?
Who?
Christy.
I don't know. Matero?
Okay.
Yeah. Not to get confused with Christy from Dead or Alive.
Right.
Yeah, Miguel, who didn't come to Tekken 5, but whatever.
Hey, the game was out at this point.
Yeah, I know, but how they set it up is like Tekken 3. That's all.
Yeah, it's based in the future, remember?
Yeah. Like I said, when we get to the bad bits,
no bad bits.
But I'm never saying when we get to that, that be a part. Yeah, you know, I like they were in it. They changed a lot of. Some of the costumes were like game accurate, so I was like, oh, that's cool. They look weird in real life, but that's pretty cool. They changed Steve to be a street hustler. That's pretty cool, I guess.
You know, it's a shame because Luke Goss, he did Blade 2 and he did Hellboy. And it's like, the guy's capable. Why didn't you use him? It's an unfortunate thing. Yeah,
they kind of wasted. But yeah, he done good though. I like Steve Goss. Brian Fury was pretty cool. He's by the legendary Gary Daniels, who has a son called Kenshiro, which is amazing to me.
It's because he was Kenshiro. Oh, man, you should have made us watch that.
No, that's on the list in the future. There's a weird love scene with Kazuya and the Williams sisters, which is pretty. If you're into that weird stuff, it's cool.
Kazuya's into that weird stuff.
Yeah, he's got father issues. They changed the father-son relationship in this film. I thought that's pretty cool. That's different. I'm really trying.
Tag me in when you need the hot tag.
Yeah, you go.
When you're Ricky Morton in it. All right. So let me see. John Fu actually looks the part for Jin. Actually well cast. Yeah. Now I'm gonna say as well. I don't know if he's meant to be American, but his natural Londoner accent just shines through. But because Tamlin Tamoy, the lady from Karate Kid 2, I can't pronounce her surname, plays his mother, and she speaks with an American-ish accent. I'm like, all right, but Steve Fox speaks with an English accent. So this slum area where where Jin grew up, his hybrid accent works. It's like, okay, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Hey, look, you have a mix of all people in there. I'm like, it makes him stand out as well as, logically speaking, he's the only one that speaks with an accent that's kind of a cross between the two.
Yeah.
Hey, look, dude looks the part. Dude is a stuntman as well, so he can do all the fights.
Yeah.
All his fights were good.
Yeah, they were. They were good.
Let's see. Christy Montero. Kelly Overton.
Who's in...
She looked the part of an athlete who... She's got a build. She's got a good build. You're thinking, all right, in a fight, she can do whether she can actually do or not. If she's a stunt woman or not. She looks like she can. That's what you need to cut. That's what comes across.
Even though they sort of race swapped her, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but okay. And also, they had already Eddie Gordo, Latif Crowler in it.
Yeah.
It was like, what's the point of having two practitioners capoeira?
Oh, that's why he changed the fighting style on this.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that makes sense.
It's a logical change for me. I'm like, okay, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a shame they didn't use Latif more, but they needed him to go down to get someone else over. But fair enough. Gary Daniels was good as Brian Fury.
Yeah.
He played the part. I don't want to say he played the part of a cyborg man, but he enhanced being, and he was throwing bombs that were sending Jin flying. And when you had the fight scene between two guys who are really good at stunt, like which are primarily stuntmen. Could do the choreography. You're like, okay, that was good. Yoshimitsu looked at kind of the part. Threw weapons in there, which was fun. I don't know who was casting the part, but it doesn't matter because he's covered in a mask to be a stuntman. As long as the stuntman can keep up with John Fu, you're fine.
Yeah, that's alright.
Yeah. So they covered up inadequacies, or I don't say inadequacies, but when they just didn't need, they could just swap a stuntman in certain things. The way they had the tournament, was pretty good. It was an actual tournament, unlike some of these other.
Yeah, and they actually established the rules in the tournament, unlike a film we previously spoke about.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat didn't have any rules, and Chun-Li, Legend of Chun-Li didn't even.
Wasn't any street fighting.
Well, there was loads of fights in the street, but there was no street fight tournament. Let's put it that way. So that was all logical. Like you said, the costumes looked pretty good. Nina's costume was a bit. I don't say it was exactly what it's supposed to look like, except that it looks clunky when you see it. Yeah. Because it's not really practical.
Like, out of the both of them, out of all costumes that game film, Nina and her sister's one stuck out because her sister's one made no sense. Like, why were you wearing that to a battle?
Yeah.
And Nina's, like you said, just looked clunky and weird, but it suited the woman.
Raven looked like kind of like the Wesley Snipes Blade-ish character that he was meant to be.
Yeah.
There was action in this movie, which is actually really good.
Yeah.
Considering the other, all of these movies, the best action was in this movie.
Yeah.
The story made sense, and somehow, well, I say it made sense, and somehow Jin, even though Jin is such a ladies' man, he had a blonde girlfriend at the beginning. Then he's like, Christian Montero just, shakes her booty essentially, and Jin's like, ooh. Right, and they're talking about a couple matter of days. He's got two women before him.
And they still. The thing about that one as well, Paul. Okay, cool, whatever. They just linger on that other girl for no reason.
They cut back to when people are watching the TV sets, chanting Jin's name. She's there as well, and so like, yeah. But she don't hurt her.
Even there, it's like
no, nothing happened. All I'm saying is, Carl, nothing happened. He's not a cheater. He's not a scumbag. Nothing happened.
It's dumb. But
I defend him. He got tempted by that harlot.
No, it's nothing to do with him. It's just the story wise. Like, why you not keep going back onto her?
Even logically, you'd be like, he doesn't do anything silly.
Yeah.
Or you don't. You write her off that then he can do the bit that he.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's like, okay, that would make more sense than like.
But what is logical is because he had the tactics to try and kill Jin.
Yeah.
So then he sends the Williams sisters in their ninja guys to kill Jin when he in his room. Yeah, and then they're fighting him, and then Christy comes back to help him fight, and he's like, okay, yeah.
Or she doesn't really help. She just smashes the window now. Oh no.
Yeah, and
then they run away, even though we have weapons.
Okay, cool. But that's the fear, right? You don't want these Kazama getting his hands on them in an equal fight.
Yeah. Even though I thought that bit was hilarious. Oh, she was the one who attacked me. Because when they do the flashback, her mask is like her whole front of her face. Okay. Yeah, of course that's gonna be her. Yeah, no, like you're saying, the fight scenes were good. I like the.
Okay, so the only shame I can say about I couldn't recognize any particular maneuvers they were doing because it doesn't look like. I know when Gary Daniels was doing the street punch, the Brian Fury street punch, even though he hit him with a punch that sent him flying, so it might not necessarily done that. That's
Paul's movie or something.
No, because Brian Fury's got one where he is forward punch and he just basically throws a straight forward.
That's the one he goes and he uppercuts you downwards. Don't do it. That's Paul you're thinking about there. Yeah.
Okay. In either case, it'd have been nice to have some of the fights where. So I thought when he was fighting Kung Lee, who's playing martial law, he was going to spring off as his finishing to end the thing. He was going to do the Kazama Hurricane Kick.
Yeah.
So they'd be like sprung off the cage, do a crescent, a roundhouse, then sweep, and then as the guy's coming off the ground, then do a kick for him in his chest to finish him off.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And then maybe at the end somewhere you have the Kazama uppercut, so Kazuya's trying to kill Jin.
Yeah.
He spins around the two axes, and then boom, Kazama uppercut.
Yeah,
but
no.
played by Hayashi never trained him in this continuity, so fair enough. I would say none of them particularly have any fighting style that's relevant to the games,
no.
but except for Yoshimitsu, who was fighting with a sword, but not necessarily Yoshimitsu's style.
Yeah.
And Latif Kara, Eddie Gordo, who was fighting Capoeira, but didn't really get to show a lot of that either.
Yeah, because he was dead by then.
Kazuya, though, is, as we did the standard Mortal Kombat rules, where it's like, I'll do whatever I want, it's my tournament.
It's my tournament.
But at least he announces it, because he's like, Jin's just had this fight, he's beat up, I'm going to finish him.
Yeah.
Finish him good. And they had the standard pro wrestling defense for, so Jin's already beat up, right? And it'd be silly, logically speaking, because he's been battered before by Gary Daniels, battered by the Williams sisters, and then had to fight Yoshimitsu. And did he fight someone else?
No,
I don't think he did.
I don't think he did. No.
And then Kazuya's like, I'll finish him off. So if he managed to defeat Kazuya after all them fights, she'd be like, oh, that's bull. But Christy distracts one of the guards who then shoots her gun, and then Jin grabs and counters the axe. Boom.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, it makes sense. Not saying that Ian Anthony Dale can't fight or anything like that, because I think they use quicker shots. Just the editing was different in that, but they were like, all right, you know what, put him down quickly because. The character-wise, Jin's going to be tired after all of this. Yeah. Beaten and bruised, he's going to have to take him out as quick as possible. It's perfectly logical. And new people's champ.
Yeah, even though it makes... Can we just go on? Can I just say my bad points now?
Go on.
There's lots of it. Okay. Okay. 1. Okay, I get... They have got to change things for, point of the film or whatever from the game. Okay, 1, they made Kazuya into a rapist. Because even in the proper continuity, in the games and all that, him and Jun actually loved each other or whatever. And
the one night stand or whatever it was, right?
Yeah, but they actually loved each other, not rape. Whatever. I catch that.
Yeah, but so they had to make Kazuya despicable, and then they had to make Hayashi a bit more. Like, he's running an evil corporation, but had to make him a bit more sympathetic. It's like, I know what you did, Kazuya, and I saved the woman.
But
behind
then
your back.
You kind of like Heihachi's in the whole grand landscape of Tekken. He's actually more evil than.
No, that's in the game, but not in the movie.
But then you'll change. That's what I'm saying. There's little things change. Like, okay.
No, they had to. I'm not saying they had to, but it was a fair enough change for the story they were telling.
Yeah.
But yeah. It just made Kazuya more despicable, but he was despicable already, so you didn't need to get that far.
It's like, that's a bit of a okay. The weird threesome with the sisters makes no difference. Always saying is they could be adopted sisters. Even so, that's still weird. They could be the sisters like how people are brothers, but they're not brothers. And people are brothers. Yeah, but you don't sleep with them, do you? Okay. All right, you got me there. Everyone apart from Jin and Christy are throwaway characters, literally.
No. I
Yeah,
thought
Raven gets blown up.
Oh yeah, okay. No, but Brian Fury was at least there for a reason.
Yeah, they changed him way too much though.
They tweaked him into the, but he was still the cyborg character that he was.
Yeah, but in I hate being that guy. In the in the games, he's just a psychopath.
Yeah.
Like he wants to destroy the world.
Yeah.
In this, he's a fighter. All right, get he's a fighter. You got to change this whole thing, but then you couldn't have had any other character.
No. See, he was a psychopathic character. He enjoyed fighting.
He enjoyed fighting, but like,
but then he needed to keep them enhancements, cybernetic enhancements, so he could continue beating up people. Yes. That's true psychopathy. They needed the money to boost himself up to then beat up more people.
No.
He's getting paid to beat up people because he enjoys it.
I like his other motivation where he literally just throwing tanks at people. That's the best.
That's illogical.
But now think about it now that we've been talking about it, this isn't the worst one of these. The next one actually is the worst one.
I'd probably argue that Legend of Chun-Li is probably the worst one of these, but
that club scene with Christy and Jin was just like, okay, at least in the Chun-Li one, there's like, there was point to what it was doing.
Yeah.
This one is like, hey, let's shoehorn these people into relationships as quick as we can.
Let's have a lady just grind on she didn't really grind on him, but she's just like, let's have a little bit a titillation here and there. I was like, okay. And you're like, question mark?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, shoehorn.
No, look.
Steve, the power glove thing was weird. It was like, what?
Yeah.
Okay. He's iconic.
But at least when they get the costumes, see, at least they logically write, other than, because if you're a pro wrestler, right, and you design your own gear, fair enough, but then you have to have a signature look, yeah? So these fighters also have a signature look, which is a nice way of writing how their costumes are in the movie. Makes sense?
Yeah, it makes sense, but just how he got the power gloves, like, okay, he's a boxer, why is he giving him power gloves?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you could have said, I had these lying around, here you go. Sort of thing, like, okay, I'd have bought that more then. Yeah,
I made these especially for you,
because of, like,
whatever.
Plot. Yeah, okay, alright. And to go back to the whole Kazuya thing, it made no logical sense. Why you make him more despicable than he has to be. We already know that he's a deadbeat dad.
Yeah.
But then...
Yeah, because then he not only that, he found Jung and he killed her anyways.
Yeah. And then you make him into...
Bombed her, in fact.
Yeah.
And his own troops.
Yeah.
Just to establish how evil he is. And then he does more evil stuff. Why? Because he can.
Yeah. And then you knew I hired all the security, so they're going to follow me. Okay. What? You wonder why your dad didn't want to leave this to you, because you don't make any logical sense of anything you're doing, you mug.
Do you know, it's in fact, the guy playing Jin and the guy playing Kazuya, I think there's about only a 5-year age difference between them.
Is it?
Yeah, it's not a lot of age difference. I mean, they had to white up the guy's, they had to salt and pepper his head to make him look older. But it's like, they're not actually that far apart in age.
Because I know that guy who plays Jin, what's his name?
John Fuya.
Don't know what I did. I Wikipedia the other day. He's 38. So he's still relatively young. So he was like.
But back then he was
28 then.
Yeah, 27ish.
Yeah. Oh, for some reason I thought the other guy was a bit older.
No, because I think the guy he's like 42 or something. I also Wikipedia because I was like, wait a minute. I think I saw how old is he meant to be?
Yeah, exactly. To have like a teenager.
No, but it made him look like it because also in Tekken, the second movie. Kazuya's
Revenge.
Yeah. They have a guy who Ken Kasagi playing it, but Ken Kasagi looks really young. He's 48 now, and that movie was like 5 years ago, so it'd have been like 43 or something like that. But the guy doesn't look that age, and I'm like, but first of all, I was like, why couldn't you have got this guy, Ken Kasagi, to play Kazuya if you're gonna play Kazuya at the time?
Yeah.
Because he's a martial artist, he can do all this stuff. But then I realised this guy doesn't look anywhere near his actual age.
Yeah.
He would have probably looked too young. And they would look like two brothers fighting.
Yeah. That's a bit... besides... Yeah, actually, there's not actually that much I dislike about it.
Yeah. Look, it sets up the fights. Yeah, it didn't need that... The future of Tekken corporations.
That bit. Yeah, like the world went to a war. We don't know which war this is, and now the Earth's is in 8 different companies, and Tekken own North America.
Yeah, it didn't need that. I mean, they used that to establish a tournament.
Yeah,
but they didn't really need to set in that sort of background.
Yeah.
But at least, it got them a way to get to the tournament, which is what they were after anyways.
Well, I don't know why they named...
They could have just set the whole thing right to begin at the tournament, and they just not signify exactly why they you didn't need all that background. Because you're here for the fights. And at least this movie had good fights.
And, they messed... name-wise, they swapped things around. It made no sense. Because Hitachi's company is called Mishima Zubats.
Yeah.
And his army force is called the Tekken Force.
Yeah.
So why could you just call that part of North America Mishima Zubats, and then his Jack army the Tekken Force?
Yeah.
Especially because when the tournament was called the King of the Iron Fist.
Yeah.
So there's...
Hey, look, this movie's just about the fights. Just about the fights.
No, just feel like that. It's stuff easily given to you from the source material.
Yeah.
Why do you complicate it? You know what I mean?
No, it is true. It is true. But that's what you're finding with all these films after you watch the video. They tweak so many things. They're like, no, but right here,
it's something very simple.
Yeah, exactly. There's not all this extra fluff is not needed.
No.
You just want it's a fight movie. Get to the fight, not necessarily. I'll just get to the fights and have the story bridging it. But all this other stuff, like Chun-Li going on her quest to be one of the peasants of the Thailand.
Yeah.
What? Why?
I can see trying to do character development or whatever, but still, you don't need to really do that.
Yeah. I mean, I can't. Mortal Kombat, the same as but then again, Shao Kahn was actually invading, so that made logical sense.
Even though, when you think about it,
but they got sent to go and pick up other people randomly for no reason. At least this movie got to the fights, the tournament, which was what it's supposed to be.
It's funny, like I was saying, before we move on to the next one and finish this, it's funny that Mortal Kombat is the one that follows the source material the most, but is the worst. It makes sense.
Okay, it's one of the I'd say even between Mortal Kombat and Legend of Chun-Li, because we haven't even got King of Fighters yet, but it's because Legend of Chun-Li kind of dragged. Yeah. At least Mortal Kombat had the fights to break up the things and had the good costumes and more up points to Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, then.
But do you want to move to King of Fighters now? Before
just one thing before we move on to that. When you watched your Tekken?
Yep.
Did you see the end credit bit?
After the end credits, where Hayashi Mishima is Tekken. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it just the guy just puts his gun down and ends, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I've watched it, I was like, did something go wrong? So I scoured the internet to see if there's anything else, and he's kept showing that bit. I was like, that's a weird end of credit scene to have.
Well, but I think that was before, earlier when
when you think he gets killed, whatever, you hear an explosion. Yeah. Well, that's a weird.
Yeah, it's just to show
that he's still alive.
Sequel bait.
Yeah. Yeah, didn't learn anything from the
logically speaking, though, it'd be funny at the very end where Kazuya is now in the jail or wherever it is.
Yeah.
They didn't need to do that scene where that scene where Hayashi was alive.
Yeah.
You could have just had Kazuya just been bagged up in a helicopter somewhere, and then when they pull the mask off, so someone's in a mask, it's Kazuya, but he pulls up the head like he's been kidnapped.
Yeah.
And he turns around, he sees Hayashi. Hayashi's like, now whatever he says is killer one line and kicks him off the helicopter.
Yeah.
It's a volcano.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he got taken too.
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing. Why did Jin have the demon tattoo if we're not going to turn to the demon? Alright, that's my other little thing that made no sense.
Yeah.
Especially when you try to say, our blood is... the whole bit was like, our blood is sort of tainted or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, you build into the demon thing. The devil blood. No.
But for a series based in realism, because Mortal Kombat's Annihilation is more based in fantasy than all.
Yeah.
These Legend of Chun-Li, between Legend of Chun-Li, Tekken, and King of the Fighters, this was the most one that I would say is correctly, I want to say correctly or believable.
It's more grounded in reality than the because King of Fighters. Woohoo! All right. Where should we go? Where do we start? Where do we begin on this?
Okay. All right.
Awesome piece of cinema.
All I'm gonna say is, this movie is about how feuds can carry over from generations to generations, such as Iori's had the Iori's clan
Yeah.
had a beef with Kyo's
Clan.
yeah,
And
this movie is about how they break the cycle so violence doesn't continue through all the generations and generations.
Yeah.
So you can be better than your ancestors at a resolution, because the blood feud does not need to continue for thousands and thousands of years. As much as I can't. Yeah.
Maggie Q's in it, so to me this is automatically a 5-star.
Maggie Q can do the stuff that she can do, but you know how we were saying before with Kevin Overton looking like an athlete?
Yeah.
I think so. Maggie Q's got a slender frame.
Yeah.
To be fair, she does not need to fight anyone big and bulky though.
No.
So it's not really a matter. And I know she can do the stuff that she can do because she trained with Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
But to look like I don't say on screen, because like Captain America needs to look like a super soldier.
Yeah.
So, you can only, yes, logically speaking, some people, like you've seen some larger people do 360 rotations, like Keith Lee can do all that crazy stuff. But on screen, when you're looking at it, you're like, you just assume they'd be a certain size in your mind.
Yeah.
But for fighting the people that Maggie Q is fighting, it's fine. Her size. She doesn't look like Mai.
No.
But what can you do?
Like
we can do, because she'll be fighting balloons attached to her chest.
Yeah.
And you don't want that. That's going to be even worse.
And okay, I'm going to try and shield this film the best I can. Okay. So,
yeah.
It's about, because, it came out 2012, the internet was all the rage. So, this is about, like, virtual fighting, not the game Virtual Fighter. But, and it's pretty cool. People go down to different worlds and they have fights in like nice fancy set piece arenas, whatever, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, empty ones as well. And I will put I want to back you up on that slightly and then you move on. Logic being, wherever you're fighting, you don't have a crowd of people in your way or any obstacles or any people that
distractions or anything.
And it's got privacy.
Yeah.
The only people that watch the tournament can see who wins. So none of this pro wrestling style music distraction.
Yeah.
Then turn around and get someone hit their finisher, or you have the managers or referees interfering and stuff like that. You just need to concentrate on the fight, which is exactly what you need to do.
It's all done in your mind and the Bluetooth headset thing. They condense a lot of the. I'm lying for this point, but not lying, but I'm trying to make the film sound better. A lot of the confusing storylines from King of Fighters into this and try and make it more understandable, which works to a certain degree. The characters, they do use a lot of characters from the game, which is pretty cool, and some of them. That's a lie. They're really true to their thing, but they're not.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they simplify a lot of things, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. They actually as well do tie together things that because they give the characters different backgrounds and backstories.
Yeah.
At least it ties together more logically rather than a bunch of randoms.
Yeah.
Which then might not even have any backgrounds to. One funny thing is that Maggie Q is an undercover agent, and Kyo Kasagi, like after they find out, no, she's an undercover agent. She's trying to seduce Yuri because she's pretending to be his girlfriend. Yeah. Then she gets to do another quest of something like that, and then when he finally speaks to her, and he says, "There's anything about you?" So Terry Bogard, who's a CIA agent, goes, "I'm gonna pull you off the case." While she's with Kyo and Iori, and Kyo goes, "Is there anything real about you?" Or something like that. Along those lines.
Yeah, that was that brought up a little.
I was like, oh, that's actually kind of funny.
And there's a little love triangle, which is she's not really showing interest in Kyo, but there's a weird insinuated love triangle, which there really isn't one. That's pretty.
And this movie also told me about how Japanese have a Japanese man and a white lady can have a fully white kid. Yeah. White people, dominant genes apparently.
Which I was like.
But somehow it's a Japanese name.
Full Japanese name as well.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
like Steve Kuogi or whatever. It was actually like Kyo. Like, would he pass as a Kyo? So yeah, that was cool.
If they cast John Fu here, the guy from Tekken, it'd have made sense.
Yeah, that made more sense. But then
He was already filming Tekken probably.
not than that, when he starts speaking, you're like, this makes no sense.
Well, he speaks English, hybrid English, American accent.
You're like, oh, that's okay.
No, his mum could have been English.
Yeah, true. But then he grew up. I'm guessing this is set in America. Yeah, it's set in America.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, be like,
okay. I got nothing.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. They do lots of, again, like I said, lots of reference to the game as well.
Yeah. And it's also as well when they don't wear their costume around
in the real world.
Yeah, because it okay. Let's just face it. The colours, a bit colourful and some of them are a bit outlandish, or you wouldn't really walk around in that stuff. But when they go into the next dimension of game world, all I'm saying is, well, this ties into. Remember in the not the Funimation dub, who did Dragon Ball before Funimation?
I think it's Ocean, isn't it?
No, is it?
I think so.
Is that? Yeah. Sorry, you're right. Because Golden Harmony did it before, right? The Ocean dub, where Vegeta's talking about sending people to the next dimension. Well, here it is.
There you go, yeah.
Here it is. This is indeed what happens when you get sent to a next dimension. You go to fight. Yeah. It's not a metaphor for killing people. It legit is. Actually, what it is.
That universe, dimension. Yeah, so that was kind of like a cool little thing, pocket dimensions. You're like, cool. Yeah. Science. Yeah.
Oh dear.
They have Vice and Mature in this. They're pretty cool characters who actually die in King of Fighters 98, I think it is. Io actually rips them apart. I
actually thought it was kind of funny how I do believe Vice and Mature, because the lady who's playing Mature is a stunt lady.
Yeah.
But I don't know about the lady who plays Vice.
Yeah.
But the angles they cut around is like, are they subbing in stunt woman here and there? You just can't tell sometimes because you don't see their faces.
No.
But you're like, I'm pretty sure that the lady who's playing Mature is a stunt woman of some sort.
Yeah, it is. And the fight scenes are pretty good.
The interdimensional fight scenes.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
They're not, by the way, not like Dragon Ball when Gogeta's fighting Broly. Not those international. No, they literally just teleport to with their devices into that dimension to fight. Ray Park was not Rugal, really.
Yeah, no. That was
but he hammed up his role wherever he was meant to be. At least he looked like he was having fun.
Whatever he was meant to be, yeah.
He was enjoying himself. Will Young Lee don't know how the age ranges of these people are meant to be, but I think Will Young Lee played his role pretty well. But he's probably about at least 10 years older than the actual character.
Because they're meant to be teenagers.
Yeah.
Io and Kyo.
Yeah.
Iori, sorry, they're meant to be teenagers. They go to say that's why they have their beef. But trying to think what else I can say about this nice little film. The ending was pretty cool, the friendship of power.
Yeah. When it was three of them triple teaming Regal.
With their sacred artifacts for, to stop Orochi to come into our world to destroy it. I think he's meant to destroy it. I ain't got a real clue what was going on. But
who knows what these crazy interdimensional things are all about.
I didn't really understand the motivations, but it was good. The rollerblading scene was pretty funny because it made no sense. And they had a lesbian couple in this. Was pretty.
Yeah. They were in the sauna or something like that.
Yeah.
But obviously that's when Rugal's like, wait. So he calls them to go to a fight, but then it's an ambush because he's in the thing with Jig, and then he basically says, "I'll kill Mature if Vice doesn't go and say, oh, everyone come to me."
Yeah, fine to go in there.
Yeah. So the blackmail scene when I was in the blackmail, it's not blackmail because they're two ladies together and everything like that. It's just Rugal's blackmailing one of them to send more fighters into that dimensional world.
So I was like, that's
a logical trap there.
Yeah. To be
but
fair,
then when they brainwashed to be on his side afterwards, because they're fighting with him.
Yeah, because he brainwashes her. I mean, brainwashes one of them, and then the other scene where she's back in the world and she's sitting on a chair, he brainwashes her then. Oh, okay, you could make it more.
I tell you what's funny that I was looking at, and the dude playing Terry Bogard?
Yeah.
He's David Leitch, the director of Deadpool 2 and some of the John Wicks. Yeah. Oh, okay. Parts of the John Wick films. And one of the stunt guys in 8711, that stunt team.
Okay.
I'm like, what? How did you? When this
that.
movie's not. Yeah. Well, not to say I was not a display of your skill, because he had to do some fights. I don't know if he choreographed everything as well, because it actually looked pretty decent. Yeah. But if you get people that aren't primary, if these films don't get a lot of time to practice beforehand.
Yeah.
So he probably did what he could do with the people that he had, because if you don't have time to practice it, how can you know?
Yeah.
They say, some people train for 6 months for those fight scenes. But you can't just. But in smaller budget films, sometimes like Scott Adkins was saying, sometimes you had to do fight scenes in 4 days.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, yeah, but if it's the whole selling point of the movie, shouldn't you give them more time? But independent film, not independent film, but lower tier films are like, we've got a time limit and a budget, and we just got to get moving.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's all I can really say about the good things of the film. Yeah. There was no sequel bait, which is quite sad, but yeah, that's about.
I don't know if it's a bad thing or a good thing, considering
so
there was a special cut of this put on YouTube. Guy just cut out all the bits where they're talking about interdimensional, the next dimension, all this dimensional fighting. Right, just made them sound all completely stupid. So when I saw that first, and then I was like, oh my goodness, this film is like gonna be such a
train wreck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then watching this film, I'm like, it's not as bad as the cut made out to be, but then it's not as silly and fun and camp as the cut would have made it out to be either.
But so I'm just gonna say the bad things now. Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna go for it.
I mean, that's
Okay. I don't understand the whole why is it in a next dimension sort of thing.
I think we established that. Like, no civilian casualties.
No, but
no
King of Fighters, it could just be a normal tournament.
Yeah.
Set in
but then all of these could have been a normal tournament.
Yeah, I know, but I just like.
No, yeah. I know, like we were saying before, there's no need for all these changes. Yet somehow the people making these films decide, we're going to make these changes.
Yeah, I don't understand how, this would be more understandable. No, like...
yeah.
Like,
you want to win a tournament in a fight. That's the most understandable thing there is.
And so, I don't mind they changing Iori to be like a middle-aged dude or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Did he need to be a corporate rich guy who's running his own massive organisations? Like,
I think in the games he has something to do, but he doesn't. His family's rich, but he has nothing to do with that stuff.
Yeah.
So okay, whatever, that makes sort of sense. But why is he dating Mai? Because there's so many other characters they could have used instead of Mai.
Yeah.
Because realistically, Mai isn't.
She's a ninja, right?
Yeah, she's a ninja, and she's dating Andy Bogart, Terry Bogart's brother.
Yeah.
So like, that's a one weird change.
They could have just swapped out Sean Farris to be Andy Bogart or one of them Bogart brothers.
Yeah. And
then you wouldn't have had the problem of not a white savior, because he wasn't a white savior in this, but
Yeah.
You would have the problem of a white guy with a Japanese name.
Yeah. Who looks blatantly white.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I lied about they simplified the storyline. They made it more confusing because some aspect of the thing that Hiroshi think is right, and then some of it just makes no sense because he's from another dimension and he wants to destroy the world.
Yeah. I think they focused too much on that rather than, and then they had for of a reason to come up with this next dimensional thing. It's like, no, if you don't use it, like in Tekken, if you don't need none of that devil stuff in Tekken, don't use it.
Don't even reference to it.
Yeah. Maybe later on, through the film, you can make something happen.
Yeah.
That gets to the point where you could introduce a fantastical element and be alright, but keep the main film grounded. Yeah.
And it took me like 30 minutes to realise that woman Chizori is actually a woman Chizori from the game. Because,
oh, really?
Yeah, because they're the three clans the fly cans that stop
Wait,
Orochi.
is that who Francois Yip was?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're meant to have a big important bit. So they're meant to be. Her character's sort of right though. Like, she is a rich person.
Yeah.
All that, and she hosted a tournament.
Yeah.
They can fight in 97, 98, whatever.
Yeah.
To stop them from fighting Ru. From Orochi coming back into this world or whatever, who needs a powerful sacrifice to take their body so he can come to this world and make it his bitch.
Okay.
That was weird. Why was Ray Park Rugal? Why?
First, because he's. Well, okay. Why they hired Ray Park? I can say.
I can see why.
Yeah,
he can do stunts and
yeah.
stuff. But they could just like it's one of.
He could have been any other character.
Yeah.
He could have found a character that was going to stick them forward the characterization that they wanted, rather than Rugal. If he would played it like he played Darth Maul, right?
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
But
Which means some eccentric nutcase.
Yeah.
And he didn't even do one genocide cutter either, which annoys me. That's his move. Where he shouts out genocide cutter. Didn't even do that. He made me some like 7 foot tall dude dressed up in a suit and stuff. He just some like weird guy with a scarf. You're like, what is okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Cool. And the biggest injustice to me, being a huge fan of this character, and it just angered me. I remember why I didn't like this film. I watched it like 12 years ago, where it was. Terry Bogard.
Yes.
Terry mother effing Bogard.
Yeah.
He is the hungry wolf.
Yeah.
The like poster child of SNK. Yeah. He's their big thing. Why is he a CIA agent?
Yeah.
Who doesn't even fight?
Yeah.
And just a dick. And then when you do bring him into that dimension, he has the most crappy interpretation of his comic ever. He just got like a waistcoat and a hat that says Fatal Fury. It's not even the right hat.
Yeah.
It's not the. He's wearing a puffer jacket waistcoat. It's not even like.
Yeah.
He doesn't wear his jeans.
Yeah, it could have. I mean, like when he was facing the horde of people, you could have just bust out with like if he was like, what's this move? Buster Wolf. Bone Knuckle.
Bone Knuckle.
Yeah.
Power shot, crack shot. He's got so many moves.
Yeah, he could have just done something like to hold them back with some sort of crazy. But then I really sat at the point where he doesn't believe that his special interdimensional stuff. He's the skeptic, so then it wouldn't make any logical sense for him to start putting off these.
But even that bit, the skeptic bit, was stupid anyway. Because at the beginning, he sees Rugal goes into that dimension, don't he? But then he's like, "I don't believe in none of this." You literally just saw your own freaking eyes, dude. Why?
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. But yeah, that's my small gripes of it. I'm not going to go more.
Well, it's not many good. I mean, it's not much more you can say about this film that it's like nonsensical. No, it's not nonsensical because it does make sense.
Yeah.
But what it is really far from what the game is.
Yeah.
And all these movies, it's a tournament.
Yeah.
You got your storyline right there.
Yeah,
People
right there.
find people for whatever prize you want to make them fight for. Don't over convolute things by adding all this. It's like okay, I've got a story that I want to work into this story.
Yeah.
Because I want to say something, right?
Yeah.
And then turns everything into a mess because you just then have to work in the game story or not in some cases.
Yeah. I this made me realise just now from saying all this. The best video game, one that's closest to any of the like source material, but people will say it's the worst one.
Yeah.
Is Dead or Alive. At least
we got okay. At some point,
we're gonna talk about it. But
yeah. So at some point, we're gonna punish ourselves by watching.
I actually enjoyed that film.
Carrie Daniels' Fist of the North Star.
Yeah.
This DOA with
DOA.
What year was it?
I want to say 2009.
Yeah. Because there's it's a Korean film that's DOA.
Yeah.
Which is not based on a video game whatsoever. So I'm just have to give the US version. Kevin Nash.
Yeah, Kevin Nash.
Okay.
Jamie Presley. Eric Roberts.
Yes. Kane Kasugi, I do believe, is in there.
What's the film that's along those lines? I can't remember his point.
Well, we'll probably find some more super terrible films to watch, and then
Double Dragon.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen it in about 20 years. But,
Oh, jeez. Okay, and then maybe one more terrible because it's all video game related.
Yeah.
No, because the Fist of the North Star video game, not video game.
No, it was
Some sort of martial arts film that is based on something that is terrible.
Dragon Ball Evolution.
Oh my goodness. All right, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see how that went.
All right, let's quickly.
Let's see how much we can punish ourselves.
All those ones I actually don't mind them, except for Dragon Ball. I can hit or miss with that, but the other ones I don't mind.
All right.
Let's
see how let's see how
it goes.
All right.
Let's quickly round up which one we say is the winner of these films.
Well, as in the winner of to be the worst or the best?
The best.
Tekken.
I might have to say, in my opinion, I have to say, and this is really weird, I'm going to say this, Chun-Li.
Shut up!
Yeah, man. I don't know. I feel at least it's trying to be serious.
How can you just okay? It's like if she left him at the end because she fireballed him, he fell into the pipe, the bamboo pikes or whatever, right? And then she jumps down to double stomp his head and spin it the other way around.
Yeah.
Was that necessary?
Yeah, it was. She ruined his life.
He's already dying and dead.
Yeah, but I think.
No.
I don't know. It seemed more. They sort of knew where they was going with it. The others.
This film was a drag.
Nah, it was the Street
the
Fighter.
The fights weren't bad, but they weren't great either.
Yeah.
And when you're like, okay, Vega is the cleaner.
Yeah, that was.
And then he gets punked out in like.
He had
2
no need
minutes.
to be in it. To be honest.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like the story to me just made more. It knew what it was trying to be, and it went through it.
Yeah, but it didn't need to be. It didn't need to be what it was going to be.
Yeah, no, but they went like they had a budget. Like, okay, this is what we can do, and like it hasn't got some weird complex storyline.
No, but it does, because why does Chun-Li need to go undercover to go seduce another lady? To then infiltrate a fighters organization, and then she goes to Batman's another guy who's importing stuff for her, so she can get from Bison, she can get information to then follow Bison's other people. See, and then Bison's like, I'm gonna be like the king of the slums. Yeah, and transfer my soul to this other like
because he hated Thailand for what it did to him. See, at least like everyone has like I said, I don't know. I just feel like one has a better storyline. Everyone has reasons for what they're doing.
I'm gonna say, like, at least in Tekken, you knew why the tournament was happening, and that's all they needed to get.
But they didn't even tell you what's important in the tournament and what you get from winning. Because at the end, the endings make no sense because you see Jin walking off with all the people on Tekken.
Because at that point they knew he was the new heir to the Mishima Empire.
Yeah. But like
he was the people's champion.
But you say at the end, always like, he's the people's champion. Not, oh no, he's now the owner of Mishima Zabatsu or whatever. Never said that. It's just like, okay, so he's just walking off, and everyone's like, Jin, you did it. Drinks are on me. Drinks are on the house. No, drinks are on me. So who's getting these drinks? I mean, it's just I don't know.
Let's talk about inspiration to the people.
Nah, because it just made no sense. From 5 days ago, he was a super hardcore parkour guy who street fights, to now, hey, I'm the leader of the free world.
At least they wrote in the backstory they used to do fights.
Yeah.
Because then when he won fights later on, it's logical because he's got that experience. Rather than Chun-Li had no experience.
No, her dad was training her.
Oh, dad was training her.
Exactly. Same with Jin's mom. She was training him.
No. He got to scrap. No, they actually say in the bar.
Yeah.
You know, after he delivered his parkour stuff. Oh yeah, you used to fight as well. Yeah. But I'm not into that life anymore, right?
Yeah.
So he's actually had contact fighting, whereas Chun-Li practiced with a stick in a garden.
Yeah. Well, her dad taught her.
And then she can later on beat the biggest and baddest and best hitman.
Because Gen trained her.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And Vega and Taboo as Vega was, so I don't want to say shoddy, but not incapable of fighting. Just like they're like, we're gonna have this guy's not a stuntman or fighter or anything like that. Just get rid of him.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just feel like Chun-Li it made more.
If she, if she was FBI or a cop or at least all this undercover stuff. Like, why did you have the stuff with Charlie Nash and Moon Good Blood when you could have just wrote Chun-Li as a cop as well, and then everything would have integrated perfectly well?
But then it wouldn't be the Legend of Chun Li. It'd just be Street Fighter, Operation Get Bison, whatever. You know, and because they've done it as well. She's still young. She can, if there was a sequel, she could move on to be a Agent of Interpol like in the game. See, it was trying to build, but
oh, yeah, I'm just saying they complicated things so they didn't need to complicate. But then all of these movies have done the exact same stuff, so you can't really.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
All I can say is that I believe that the order that I'm having it goes like this, right? As best to worst, yeah.
Right.
Tekken.
Yeah.
Maybe King of the Fighters.
No.
Mortal Kombat Annihilation, then Legend of Chun Li.
Mine would be Chun Li, Tekken, King of Fighters, Mortal Kombat. Because Mortal Kombat is the worst of the worst.
It drags as well. But at least it has good costumes. And you know, I don't even say sometimes it's so bad it's good, because it's not.
It's not.
But King of the Fire's got some stupidity in it that you're like, oh my goodness. But you might watch it again for the exact same stupidity.
I don't know if I can watch it.
No. The only one out of these lot I would like to have rewatched again was actually Tekken. I would never have rewatched any of these films, especially the last three. If you didn't,
I want to rewatch them any of them ever again. But like, really, I don't know. Again, reason actually, I should give King of Fighters a bit higher because, like I said, Maggie Q, she's amazing. But no, I can't.
Well, you know, the thing is though, you can have one good person in a film, and the rest of the film still not be good. So you can't really just rate it because she's better than the material that she was given.
Yeah.
Other than the material she was given was very, very terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, no, she did what she could good, but the rest of the film, when you put interdimensional fighting in a VR simulator, it's like, come on. You know?
Yeah. But yeah, okay, that's that then. We have two different lists.
And as you see, we did try our best to make these films sound good, but sometimes they aren't. It's just like sometimes you can't. You can only do what you can do, right?
Yeah. But the biggest upset for all this is that there won't be a Legend of Chun Li 2. That is my hot take.
That's a good thing. That's not a bad thing.
It could have built up, man.
I'm saddened that he did not do any manage to make any sequel to Street Fighter Assassin's Fist.
Yeah, it's not as good. That's why.
The best.
They try to stay too much to the source.
Yeah, but then all I'm saying is Van Damme's Street Fighter is better than Legend of Chun Li, because that's rewatchable for all the wrong reasons.
Good point. Yeah, you got a point. But the Chun Li story's better.
No. Chun Li was just trying to be back, like you say, Batman Begins, and it's just.
Hey man, Batman Begins came out 2 years before that. Well, 3 years. So just riding that hype train.
Okay. So what we're saying is, it's time to finish.
Yeah,
it's time to finish this show because I mean. There's no more good things we can say about these films, and we don't want to just go in there and start slaying them as much, because we're trying to keep it on a
positive vibe.
Yeah. So that's this episode done for the day.
Yes.
And we're watching Gary Daniels' Fifth North Star. I don't know what year that was. 1994.
I think like 495.
Yeah.
One of them.
What was the other ones?
Dead or Alive.
Dead or Alive. Yeah.
Yeah. What was the other? Literally, you just said it a minute ago. Dead or Alive. Dragon Ball Evolution, 2000. That's 2009 as well.
Yeah. And another fight film.
Yeah, which will come to. Which I've literally forgotten. You literally just said as well.
Okay.
But yeah, you'll find out.
You'll probably remember it just after we sign off. But that's me, C.I. Chung, and my co-host
Kyle Charles.
And that's it for this episode of Trip Around the Multiverse.
Yeah, we got there. And yes, follow all our socials. Will be in the comment section description section down below.
Bye.